Before we get started for tomorrow's lineup, let's just do a quick recap of today's game. Tigers defeated the Landers 6-3. I think in the beginning, and uh, they both scored 2 runs in the first inning, and the Landers got another one in the second. But after that, uh, Tigers were able to shut them down. In the third inning, the Tigers went up another 3 runs, and then pretty much it stayed to win until the ninth, where they got another run to make it 6-3. So what tells me is that early on, uh, the Keyers pitcher kind of started a little bit shaky in the first inning, but I think he kind of like brushed it off. And after that, he was able to shut down. After the second inning, he was able to shut down the Landers lineup, and the Tigers bats did enough to get a solid victory. So, all right, let's take a look at today's um, lineup, or Saturdays, which is tomorrow. Where is it? I had it up. So tomorrow's game, Tigers again at Landers, Wiz at the Twins, Giants at Lions, Bears at Dinos, and Heroes at Eagles. Again, there's a chance of a rainout and game cancellation on like 99% of these games. So um I believe Heroes beat the Eagles like 2 in a row. First time the margin was pretty big. This morning they won by I think one. Yeah. I think the Eagles had a chance to win. They had a man on base final inning, but just didn't get it done. So based off of that, I don't see the Eagles losing tomorrow, but at -165, we're just gonna pass on it. I mean, if they with a close win today, like by 1 run, obviously we can't consider the run line, but I mean, since we're taking the money line, minus 165 um, is not viable unless you're gonna use it for like a parlay leg or something. KT Wiz and Twins. Twins are favored -150. Let's see. Oh, the Wiz won 6-1. Twins are at home, and now they're favored. Looks like the Wiz pitcher was able to shut down the Twins lineup the entire game, only giving up 1 run in the fifth. So I'm wondering why um, the Twins are favored. So let's take a look at the starting pitchers. Twins. Well, against the Wiz, the Twins pitcher has a 1-0 record and a 3.78 ERA, which is the same as his season ERA for the entire league. And then Matthew Sauer, um, KT Wiz's pitcher against the Twins is his ERA is 4.67 with a 1-1 record. So that's why the Twins are favored. Make sure. Okay. again at one minus 150. Um, I wouldn't take it, and definitely wouldn't take the run line because I mean the Twins lost today, so the books are banking on them to bounce back. But so let's move on. Um, well, obviously Tigers beat the Landers today. Um, I'm kind of at first I was kind of surprised that the line was so this low at minus 135. Ideally, like it should be minus 200 or over. Like what happened with the Samsung Lions after they won their first game, I believe before after the All Star break, that line was like minus 130 something, and then after their victory um, for the game that was canceled this morning, the line went up over minus 200. So since that didn't happen, that tells me that the bookmakers expect a potential upset by the Landers, and I think I know why. Um, Looking at the starter for tomorrow's game between the Tigers and Landers, we almost have the same situation um, as we did uh, when the Landers defeated the Tigers. I think Pedro Avila was the pitcher at the time, and the Tigers struggled against Avila because they had never faced him before. So, and I think they just couldn't. The bats just couldn't get anything going in the entire game. That's why they lost. And but I think this is a little different situation. The starting pitcher for the Landers is also a foreign imports, and I don't know why I can't get him up. I was looking at Hatch. Basically, I don't want to call him a failed um, MLB starter, but basically that's what he is. And I was looking at his stats earlier and comparing to Pedro Avila's, he wasn't as good. So even though there is a potential for an upset here, why can't I get those stats? You know what? Forget it. I looked at it earlier. Don't need to look at it now. But I did briefly think about taking the money line on the Landers plus 105 because there is a slight chance of an upset here. But I don't think the situation is the same as when Pedro Villa started um, in the first game of the series. Um, and there is value in this, but we'll come back. So let's take a look at the Lions. Well, obviously this game was canceled, and so there's nothing really changed. I mean, except the line went down a little bit to minus 170 from 200 something. I still like the Lions to win. Now, do I like them to win at minus 1.5? I don't know, man. Like, um, probably I would say could the looks like they're the biggest money line favorite here. Could the Giants upset the Lions with the extra days rest? Possible, but I think unlikely, and the line reflects that. I mean, I think the Lions are what number one for a reason. We don't really need to go into this, but if you're looking for a dog to upset, I don't think this is the game to look for an upset. And then we come back to the well, today it's not priced as a coin flip, but it's almost a coin flip. I believe the Dinos won today 4-2, but the final score doesn't tell the whole story because they were tied to the ninth, and the Bears Was it today's games? Yeah, and the Bears were able to squeak out a victory in the 10th inning. Now, looking at this, I would kind of want to lean to the Dinos, but I think both bullpens are kind of exhausted. But I think the Bears still have an edge in that. Um, Looks like the Bears uh, scored 2 runs early in the second, and then got shut out the rest of the way. Dinos came back with a run in the seventh and the ninth to tie it up. So if we look at the early game, clearly the Dinos were on the road to winning, and it just took them an extra inning to win. Um, and honestly, I think it's gonna be more of the same tomorrow, and I think it's gonna be a close game. But ultimately, I think I'm leaning Bears again because but since it's so close to a 50-50 game, like a coin flip, there's no value in here because you just like, you know, just flipping a coin on this one. So, all right, so that brings us back to our pick of the day, which is going to be the Tigers Atlanders game. And I think you guys know where this is going. I think, like I said, this should be minus 200 something, like 225 maybe. And I don't think the foreign import that's starting for the Landers is going to have a repeat performance for the Landers' first game in the series and crush the Tigers. I just don't see it. I think at 135, we're getting the value here. Is there a potential for an upset by the Landers? Honestly, yes. But strictly looking at the comparing the two foreign imports that I think is going to be playing today, I think, like I said, I looked at the early Hatch. Like, he is not as good as Pedro Avila, and nothing has really changed since yesterday. It's except that the Landers lost. So I don't think there's a lot more to say. So we're just gonna confirm it. Play of the day is Tigers again. The money line at minus 135. See you guys tomorrow.